These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Oh, I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores, where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. With tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores, where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include Calder Healthcare Centre gift shop officially opens, the Heart Health Clinic was a huge success, the National Health reports that Canadians enjoy one of the highest standards of health in the world. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
Houses of yellow, lime, aqua, and blue, and the world's most friendly folk, as proud to show their true colors as the street they call Jelly Bean Row. Imagine that. After you've seen the whales and the icebergs and the fjords, come witness a natural wonder. A Saturday night, St. John's, Newfoundland. Imagine that.
On Monday of this week, we were invited to the Calder Healthcare Centre for the opening of the gift shop.
Today to help us celebrate the opening of our gift shop. As most of you know, I'm Bev Tedford and I'm the Regional Director of Volunteer Resources. I just took over this position permanently in April and I'm really pleased to see something. I was telling Rose today, as a volunteer manager, you see a lot of good work from your volunteers, but a lot of times you don't get to see the final finish or something. And to me, today, I'm just so thrilled. Last night I was home and I was dancing, I was doing a lot. I couldn't wait on here, actually. So what I want to start off by doing is just to announce who our gift shop committee is, for those of you who weren't to our last meeting. Sheila Oct agreed to be our chairperson. Sheila basically will oversee the gift shop for us, and she will make sure that everything is running smoothly for us. will be in direct contact with Jeanette and myself and Jenny. Then Isabel Han is going to be our vice chairperson. Teresa Dolleman is going to be our secretary. Mary Pink has agreed to be our treasurer, and we're hoping that Mary's going to be so busy she's not going to know what to do. And Hilda Han is going to be our scheduler. So if any of you want to volunteer in the gift shop and you're kind of thinking, I'm not quite sure, go see Hilda and she'll convince you. The other thing I want to mention is I want to say a special thank you to Jenny, who's inside. Jenny's put her heart and soul in this. Virgio is part of Jenny's responsibilities, and she's the one who keeps pushing me and saying, come on, Bev, we're going to do this, aren't we? And I keep saying, yes, we are. So like, she's kind of that push behind it all, too. And Jeanette, of course, who is always there to help us, so thank you. Rose couldn't stay today. She had to go to one of her 2 meetings that came up unexpectedly. But she did want to express how pleased she is. She said, once again, Virgio and the surrounding communities have pulled together to say, yes, we want what's best for our residents and patients. So from Rose, I thank you. I'm sure that most of you will see her throughout the next coming months, and she will stop by and thank you all. The gift shop hours have been posted, and I'm really pleased. They're going to be open Monday to Friday from 1 to 4. We're going to try that, and we're going to see how it works. The committee will then make the decision whether or not they need to stay open that long or what other hours they need to work. Things inside have been priced by the committee. I know everything in there was donated. So right now, everything that's going to be sold is going to be a complete profit to us. We've had Humpty Dumpty donated some chips to us, Pepsi donated some cases of drinks to us to try to get us going. So I think that you all should, first of all, give yourself a big hand of applause and just realize what a wonderful job you've all done. And again, from my end of it, I thank you all very much. From the Western Healthcare Corporation, we thank you. It's so wonderful to see such dedicated people. I told some of the ladies today I love coming to Virgio, and this is why. You people just are the true spirit of volunteering. So from my heart, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call on the mayor to say a few words and for him to officially cut the ribbon so that we can get our gift shop open. Mayor Han, thank you.
The ladies, and I don't have to say gentlemen today because I don't see
Not
it.
yet.
Oh, there's one young fellow there. I think that's a gentleman. But anyway, this is an occasion I think that most mayors enjoy attending. It's when you're opening something. It's so much better to see something opening within your town rather than something closing. So, on behalf of the Virgin Town Council, I would like to thank the staff of the Calder Healthcare Center and the volunteers who made this gift shop possible. And I wish you every success down the road, and I'm sure it'll be one more service to the residents and to the visitors to the hospital that will enhance and keep up the good work which the Calder Healthcare Center is providing for the town of Virgin. So that's all I've got to say, and now I would cut the ribbon and declare your gift shop.
The other side.
Yay! Guys, come in and your beautiful gift shop. We're going to have some cake and tea and coffee coming shortly. So please back.
After the ribbon-cutting ceremony, the guests were served cake and coffee in the new gift shop. The shop is stocked with many different items that was donated by members of the community. There were knitted goods, baby clothes, flower arrangements, crocheted items, personal care items, books, ornaments, and playing cards. Regional Director for Volunteer Services, Bev Tedford, has in place a gift shop committee. Chairperson of the committee is Sheila Oxford. Vice Chair is Isabel Ann. Secretary is Teresa Dolleman. Treasurer is Mary Pink, and Scheduler is Elda Ann. The gift shop will be run by volunteers. We wish the gift shop committee every success in this project. The activities continued on Monday at the Calder Healthcare Center with the Art Health Clinic. Approximately 200 people attended the clinic. When you entered the clinic to register, you were given a questionnaire to fill out giving you a chance to win prizes if your questionnaire was drawn from the box and providing you had all the questions right. Volunteers then took you to the body mass index station where you were weighed and your body mass calculated. Next, it was to the blood pressure station. At this station, volunteers took your blood pressure. If your pressure was up, the public health nurse rechecked it again and then referred you to the doctor if necessary. This station had several participants referred to the doctor. A couple cases wasn't too serious, but a few others were quite serious. The blood sugar station was quite busy as well. There were a couple of cases where the patient's blood sugar was well above normal, and of course they were referred to the doctor. The public health nurse told us that without the help of the wonderful volunteers, this clinic would not be possible. The winners of the T-shirts were Jane Candle, Stan Anderson, Muddy O. Betty Cloger was the lucky winner of the fruit basket. Mugs and lapel pins were won by Rosie Warren, Phyllis Durnford, Kay Mercer, and Pat Eyre. Congratulations to all the winners and to all the volunteers and nurses for a very successful Art Health Clinic. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this. In a health report recently released, it was confirmed that Canadians enjoy one of the highest standards of health and quality of life in the world. Newfoundlanders and Labradorians rate best in the country in terms of their self-rated health. This means we feel good about ourselves overall and we feel life is meaningful. We also fared well in other areas, like our number of traffic injuries per 100,000 is the lowest in the country. This is probably due to the high rate of seatbelt use in our province, and due to prevention programs like no drinking and driving campaigns. Now for the bad news. Newfoundlanders and Labradorians rate poor in terms of death due to cardiovascular disease, coronary heart disease, and stroke. Smoking is one cause for this rate being so high. We also consume more alcohol on one given occasion, but we drink less regularly than other Canadians. We are less physically active than other Canadians, and we took fewer actions to improve our health. The province has developed programs to address the areas where we need to improve. These include the Newfoundland and Labrador Art Health Program, which assists in promoting healthy eating, active living, smoking prevention, and blood pressure control. There may be areas where we can improve on our health, but overall, the health of the people in this province is good. Now over to Mary Ann with the Council Report.
Good evening. A Burgeo Town Council report for Wednesday, October the 6th, 1999. Council held its regular meeting on the aforementioned date. There were 4 members, 4 councillors in attendance. The first hour of our meeting was spent conversing, talking to Mr. Gary Artle and Ms. Charlotte Story of IFD Fisheries regarding the clam processing facility for Burgeo. Mr. Hartle outlined as best he could as he saw the project, and there was counter statements made by the development officer, Mr. Grigillier. The observation that many of us came up with, I think, was that the project itself seems to be viable. However, there seems to be a breakdown in communications or just what, I'm not sure. And there seems to be a loss of confidence and trust on the part of the proponent of the board and possibly the board of the proponent. However, council later had some discussion on the proposal, and it was the consensus of council that council would adopt a neutral position at this time. It appears to us that Burjo BDDB is doing a fairly good job. They're acting in a very professional and business-like manner, and it certainly doesn't appear as if the Burjo Town Council should be taking a part in one way or the other at this time. If you heard our last report, you were aware of no doubt that Council wrote a letter to the Department of Work Services and Transportation regarding the abutments on the bridges on the Burjo Highway and also on the bridge leading to Smalls Island. A reply was received from the Minister of Transportation, and he advises us that the bridges will be inspected, and if it is deemed necessary, repairs will be carried out. Zoning of the town, it appears as if more and more zoning is becoming really an hindrance to the development of our town. It appears as if, well, it doesn't appear, it is a fact that we don't have the luxury in this town of having large tracts of easy developable land for business and for residential. But our zoning is such that one seems to be conflicting with the other. Therefore, Council is going to undergo a review of our zoning, and to that end we are going to request someone from the zoning branch of municipal affairs to come in and update us regarding zoning and see if we can't change our zoning to better accommodate our people. Brush cutting, Council wrote a letter to government regarding brush on the Burjo Highway, and we received a reply stating that there is no program put in place at this time for brush cutting throughout the province, but the Burjo Road will be considered and given priority when the program is announced. Falcon Seafoods, Council wrote a letter to Falcon Seafoods regarding the spill of oil or fish meal or fish on the highway leading out of town there some time ago. We received a response to our letter advising that the supervisors and so on with Falcon Seafoods have been notified of this, and that any spills in the future will be cleaned up by Falcon Seafoods, and every effort will be made to see that there is no more spills. Down at the Fisherman's Wharf, we've had some discussion in past that the sewer outfall in that area appears to be a little bit in, and to improve the flow and maybe the tidal action which is occurring there, Council is now looking at the possibility of extending that outfall maybe another 10 to 20 feet to see if we can clear up some of the unsightly sewer which is found in that area. Our chlorine plant, we've had some discussion on water in Burjo over the past few meetings, and as a result our town has made an application to become a member of the American Water Works Association. Most towns are members of that association, and there's efforts being made to get our employees on a chlorine waterworks course. The employees are doing a good job, however, they have never been given a course in chlorinators. And while I'm on that subject, I would bring to your attention that over the past few days you've seen a boil order on for the Burgeo water. According to the Department of Health, all over Newfoundland, there's being quite a problem experienced in drinking water about this time. The reason for it they're attributing to is that the very low water levels that has been found in most reservoirs, and now with the rain, it had brought the reservoirs up, but it appears as if the bacteria content have really multiplied due to the warm water and the low water levels that was experienced during the summer. Our water is just being asked to boil as a precautionary. We're working on it, and hopefully in the near future that the boil order can be lifted. We have had people in to check our chlorinator, and it's working good. Our system is working good. It's just something that appears as if most towns are dealing with at this time. Mr. Greg Illier of the BDDB gave us an extensive report on the Burgeo Diversification and Development Board, and I must say that the board is to be commended. They've got a lot of good projects underway. They do appear to be doing good work in our town. I think there's an election coming up fairly soon, and I would certainly, again, challenge anyone who has an interest in their town and the development of their town to probably get involved. There were several items of personal correspondence and business which the town took care of. Discussion on a new fire pump. This is a portable pump. Was held, and council is planning on trying to purchase a portable pump which will help out in the areas where there's not sufficient fire hydrants. The present pump is apparently very, very heavy and cumbersome to get down to a pond or saltwater area. There's a new pump on the go, and council is looking at it, and we feel that at the trade show at the NLFM in November that our manager will probably get a chance to view some different pumps, some lighter pumps, and we will be looking at that with a view to getting another portable pump to augment or take care of the lack of fire hydrants in certain areas. That was just about it, except for some routine, what I refer to as housekeeping and council business. Invoices in the amount of $16,649.40 was approved for payment. And I can't help but say that we're very impressed with the playground. It was a fairly large investment of money, but when you walk along there and see the number of kids who are taking part and using that playground, I think it was taxpayers' money well spent. So that's it for this week. Thank you.
On Thursday of this week, Greg Illier, the Development Officer for Burgeo, stopped by our studio to inform the public how to become involved with the Burgeo Diversification Development Board.
Good evening, residents of Burgeo. As noted, my name is Greg Hillier, and I'm the new Economic Development Officer here in Burgeo. I'm here this evening to talk to you in regards to the Burgeo Diversification and Development Board. As some of you may be aware and had dealings with the board over the course of the last number of years, it is an arm of Town Council, and of course it's been divested with the responsibility of looking at ways and means to generate economic stability within the community and thus creating some jobs. We have a number of major roles that we fulfill within the community of Burgeo, and of course one of those major roles over the course of the last year or two is being in the development and the initiation of various projects that have taken place, some of them too numerous to mention. The reason why I'm speaking to you tonight is to inform the general public that the annual general meeting of the board will be taking place on Monday, August the 18th at 7 p.m. in the Lawrence Community Center. We would like to encourage as many residents as we can to attend a major function. As most people know, the area of Burgeo has been hard hit over the course of the last 7 or 8 years with the downturn in the COD moratorium and of course other aspects, and we are divested with the intent of trying to develop new industries, new ideas, and new things to this community to make it a stable, viable environment. It's with the assistance of the general public of this community that it's going to happen. People like myself, we're put in place to help assist and facilitate the needs of the community as well as the needs of various individuals if they have business ideas or things they would like to see get done within the community. And we certainly encourage people to continue to try and use the services of the BDDB. However, over the course of the last few months, we've had some troubles in trying to maintain a consistent board of directors. We have done a number of things to try and initiate a good, stable board. However, the annual general meeting is a prime opportunity for people to come out, to voice their concerns in terms of economic development in the community, as well as various projects and activities that the board should be involved in, and also the opportunity to see if they would be willing to sit on the board of directors for a 2-year term. We have 5 positions that are available, and as you noted, if you watched the community channel over the last couple of months, or a couple of weeks I should say, we have advertised for nominations. We have received a couple of nominations from interested individuals, and of course we're still looking for a number of others. During the annual general meeting, there will be an overview of the work of the BDDB over the course of the last year, as well as financial statements, and of course we have a number of guest speakers, one who is confirmed now. The MHA for the area, Mr. Calvin Parsons, will be in attendance. We're hoping that our local MP will be there, as well as we're looking at the Minister for Development and Rural Renewal might be in attendance at the same time. So we're looking at a very good functional meeting that night, and we're hoping that we can encourage a number of individuals to put their names forward to sit on the board. As mentioned earlier this evening by the Mayor, I gave a brief report to Town Council on the activities of the BDDB over the course of the last month, and I'd just like to highlight a number of those things for you that have either been initiated or ongoing. At the present time, the BDDB is still working on the clam plant project. I realize there is some concerns, and rightly so in some ways, by the residents of the area. However, the BDDB has made it a priority within their system to try and come to some terms and to try and get that project off the ground, and that will still be our #1 priority over the course of the next number of months. We have had various discussions with Falcon Seafoods. As everybody's aware, there's been major renovations happening in that facility over the course of the last number of months, and they have come to the BDDB looking for various assistance and ways to help them to try and implement the various programs they want, and of course to try and eventually open up the plant. So we're looking at initiating a number of different programs with those people. We have revised the strategic plan for the town of Burgeo. If anybody was involved in the initial strategic planning, it was put in place a number of years ago. However, the board has reviewed that and revised it and passed on the new adopted strategic plan to the town council. We have developed a hiring policy over the course of the last month. As some people are aware, there has been major projects within the community during the last year, and there was some concerns over the hiring practices of the board and how certain people were selected versus others. And what we have done now is we put a proper policy in place that outlines how the hiring procedures would go, and hopefully this would be fair to all residents of the Burgeo area. In preparation for our annual general meeting, we have reviewed the constitution of the board. There was a number of areas where there was needed to be filled, or voids if you want, and over the course of the last number of weeks, members of the board have reviewed it, and of course at the annual general meeting we're hoping that those amendments to the Constitution will be adopted. During the month, we also held a major brainstorming session with members of the board in attendance, and basically what it was is to try and fulfill some direction of where the board should be going in terms of long-term economic development, as well as looking at various project opportunities that should be initiated over the course of the next year. Our 5 major areas of concern have been identified, and they include, of course, as I mentioned previously, the clam plant project. We feel that is definitely the #1 priority and could provide some major sustainable jobs over the course of the long term. We are looking at a number of major marketing initiatives to try and basically put Burgeo and the surrounding area on the map within the community, the region, and of course the province. And in terms of the tourism activity, as people know, the tourism sector has grown tremendously here in the last few years, and we would like to continue that trend and try and get Burgeo's name put on the map in terms of a destination point for visitors, both provincially and of course from away. The community complex has been the number 3 item on the priority list for the board. I have been working in conjunction with the community complex committee who has been put in place. Dr. Barber, of course, is the chairperson, and we have initiated a number of things over the course of the last few weeks. we're hoping that by the latter part of October we will have some plans in place. We will be meeting with our various stakeholders, and hopefully over the course of a couple of months we'll identify some major things that will happen in terms of the community complex. And eventually, of course, we hope to go to council in terms of finalising some type of support and principle for that activity. The Sandbanks Provincial Park, as people know, there's been some major activities taking place in that area over the course of the last year, and we've considered that one of our major focal points, not only for the town but also for attracting visitors from the tourism sector and other activities, adventure tourism of that nature. We feel that it could be a major focal point, and certainly there is a lot of areas within the province that wouldn't mind having an anchor point like Sandbanks, so we are going to continue to try and work with the Parks Division in that area and develop the park further in conjunction with the staff. The last but not least, in terms of priorities, is we're going to be looking at a seniors complex. I've had some discussions with the local committee here. The board has reviewed it and felt that there could very well be a need to expand the present unit that's there, and discussions are going to be ongoing in the next little while with representatives from Newfoundland Labrador Housing Corporation and looking at the potential development in that area. We are, of course, as well continuing on with various project proposals, and at the present time we are also looking at presenting 2 proposals that could provide the community with some long-term sustainable employment. I really don't want to get into it at this point in time, but certainly will in the near future. It is my plan that over the course of the winter, on a regular basis, that I will be taping here and informing the general public of the activities of the BDDB. I certainly encourage any resident of the community that has an idea, would like to start some type of business or looking at some type of project that could take place to provide infrastructure in the community that would better the residents of the area. Encourage them to stop at our offices, which are located at the Town Hall, and certainly I would be more than willing to sit with them and look at any type of opportunities. If you wish to get a hold of us by phone, then our number is 886-2302. Until the next time I talk, thank you.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest. The new year comes soonest. And the Atlantic first meets the new world. You can walk the streets of the oldest city in North America.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of an owl that paid our town a visit. Let's look back to March 1994.
Good evening and welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Jennifer Marks. Do you have any crafts, knitted goods, books, or baked goods you would like to sell? The Brunettes are planning to have a flea market on Saturday, November 13th, and for just $5 per table, you could be able to sell them and support the Brunettes at the same time. Deadlines to book tables is Wednesday, October 20th. Call Laura at 886-2974 or Debbie at 886-2839, and they will be happy to help you out. Do you like to play hockey and would like a chance to win money while watching the game? The fire department is providing you a chance with their hockey pool. To play, you can pick any 15 players from the paper you are given. Each player is rated from 1 to 10, and you may pick any member of players up to a total of 80 points. First, second, and third prizes will be awarded to the persons with the most points at the end of the season. The cost to play is $10 per paper, and papers may be picked up from Glen Hand or call 886-2974. Do you like to play bingo? Would you like to win $300 in the comfort of your own home? The Lioness will be holding TV Bingo on Wednesday, October 13th at 7 p.m. Cards are available from any Lioness members and are in most stores around town. Please support the Lioness and play TV Bingo, and you could be $300 richer. Do you have some spare time on your hands? The Brightsides Youth Center desperately needs your help. They need 2 volunteers for Friday nights, 3 for Saturday nights, and 3 for Sunday afternoons. If you would like to help out the youth of our community, please call Ada at 886-3353. Our youth are depending on your call. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to broadcast it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Lioness TV Bingo. Following the bingo, we will have a video entitled Jehovah's Witnesses, the organization behind the name. Jehovah's Witnesses, who are they? Tune in on Thursday when we have a video called Moose and Caribou in Newfoundland. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. Next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. we will have a worship service from the Anglican Church. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night.